Hey guys, it's Sim, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Monday, and that means tonight was Monday Night Raw. Now, I enjoyed tonight's Monday Night Raw. I thought it had a fantastic opening to the show. I thought the main event was really fun. We had a title change and a bunch of other stuff in between that didn't disappoint, to be completely honest. Well, other than the Becky Lynch Trish Stratus segment, because that was just, get this goddamn Trish stuff off my TV. It's not good. Heck, I thought Shayna and Ronda were better than the Trish Becky Miz TV segment, and that's saying something. But overall, I did think this was a good episode of Monday Night Raw. But Luke, what did you think of tonight's Monday Night Raw?
Well, it was a fun Raw as well. Very productive as well. They did a good job of building towards SummerSlam, which I did like. I like those episodes of wrestling where actually like building stuff towards like big like pay-per-view or premium live event, where we like to call it. So I thought it was a good Raw overall.
So they officially announced 2 matches, but they also teased 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 others, maybe 3. So we got the announcement of Cody and Brock, Seth and Finn, but then they teased Ricochet, Logan Paul, Pat McAfee and The Miz, Shayna, Ronda, and then Rhea and Raquel, or Rhea and Liv. So yeah, it was 4 that they teased, 2 officially announced. So we'll see. You think we get Pat versus Miz? Because Miz took the dig at him.
Well, there's already like storyline into that match, like going back to WrestleMania. So why not do it at SummerSlam?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. So, I mean, there's 6 matches right there that they basically, possibly, maybe only 5 if the Pat Miz thing's anything. But there's a bunch of matches right there they're building towards. SummerSlam comes to us. When's SummerSlam again?
August 5th, I believe.
That's what I thought. That means there's only 2 more Raws? I didn't think it was coming that fast. Jesus Christ. There's literally only 2 more Raws before SummerSlam. Huh. Yeah, they gotta get going.
Right now, there's only like 1 SmackDown match, and like the rest is probably just gonna be like a bunch of Raw matches. SummerSlam, most likely.
Well, I think we'll get Austin Theory defending the U.S. title against whoever wins this little mini tournament. We got Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. And that's all I can think of from SmackDown. Well,
maybe the women's match.
Bianca, Asuka, and Charlotte. But Io's involved in Bayley, but Bayley might be hurt. We don't know what's going on with that. I don't know. There's a bunch to look into. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of 2 different ways. You can subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get 1 free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to head over to YouTube, hit that join button, and become a channel member. Finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're getting a new game, pre-ordering EA Sports FC 24, getting Spider-Man Miles Morales, claiming the free game Train Valley 2, or getting into Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use our code PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Again, use code PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Games Store purchases right here, right now. Also, this podcast is brought to you by Pro Wrestling Loot. We'll tell you more about that a little bit later. So with that, as we get going with Monday Night Raw, the announcers run down the card for tonight's show. Corey Graves and Kevin Patrick spat out nicknames for every other wrestler on the card. And they were like, oh, we got the Hell in from Hades and Judgment Day. There's all these different things. The spirited Sami Zayn, the menacing Gunther, the cheeky Chelsea Green, the aggrandizing Sonya Deville, the strong-willed Raquel Rodriguez, the bubbly Liv Morgan. And I'm like, geez, hopefully we don't have to keep saying these names like Dirty Dom and Seth freaking Rollins. Like, god damn. Anyways, show opens up with Cody Rhodes. Samantha Irvin messed up. So Cody comes out, and Samantha Irvin says, making his way into the ring, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, but did not say from Atlanta, Georgia, especially since they're in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, I get it. You don't need that extra pop for when Cody's coming out because they're popping as loud as they already can anyways for Cody Rhodes. But it's just a little thing that I feel like she missed. She should have said from Atlanta, Georgia, but whatever. Commentary said it like 4 or 5 times during his entrance. Cody is here in Atlanta. Cody's back in his hometown of Atlanta. Cody, Atlanta, Atlanta, Atlanta. And it's like, okay, cool. We can hear that at home, but they don't hear that there. Fans like to hear their city said to them. Anyways, Cody entered the ring to a big reaction and welcome home chants. Rhodes says, we don't need to talk. Well, first he said, what do you want to talk about? Atlanta. And then says, we don't really need to talk. He's like, Brock can come out here right now and accept my challenge for a match at SummerSlam. Lesnar didn't, though. Rhodes was surprised. Rhodes says, fine, then I'm going to be out here. Brock's going to wait and be fashionably late like normal. I'll be out here 9 p.m. I'll be out here 10 p.m. I'll be out here at the end of the show. It doesn't matter. I'm waiting for Brock. And I had a thought of, how funny would it have been if Brock doesn't show up at all at the beginning and Cody, not wanting to hold up the show, so he doesn't like grab a chair and sit in the ring, but sits next to commentary or even on commentary all night waiting for Brock. Like, make Cody the third man on commentary for the show at ringside so he's there ready when Brock shows up. I thought that would have been a funny thing to do. Kind of entertaining, another layer to Cody's character on commentary and so forth, but not what they did. Cody then got very emotional speaking about his mother, Michelle, who was in the front row with his sister. Rhodes says that his catchphrase was not, let's get funky like a monkey. And that was for a reason. Rhodes mentioned training with the Nightmare family and said that the person who made him a fighter was a fighter herself. He encouraged everyone to applaud for his mother, Michelle. Rhodes said his relationship with Lesnar was complicated and really could be described in 2 words that he normally doesn't like using: hard times. He said him and Brock Lesnar have had some hard times. Rhodes said tonight would be hard times in front of his people. It would be hard times for Brock Lesnar. The crowd cheered. Rhodes then jumped out of the ring and hugged his family in the front row when Brock's music would hit. Cody quickly went over to the bottom of the ramp. Rhodes waited for Lesnar. The music stops. No Brock. Rhodes would then walk up the ramp, high-fiving people and this and that and whatnot. And then Brock's music hits again. And I'm like, okay, Cody going to go chase him in the back. So I thought maybe we'd get a camera in the back and this and that. No, Cody runs to the back, and then we see a chair fly out of the little entrance. Cody then flinged out of the entrance, and there's Brock beating down Cody. Brock picks up the chair and starts beating Cody over the back with it. Lesnar chucked Rhodes down the ramp and kept repeatedly hitting him with the chair. Lesnar hoisted Rhodes on his shoulders and gave him an F5 right in front of his mama as his mama's yelling back at Brock, stop it, don't do that. Lesnar then put him in a Kimura as Michelle is once again yelling at Brock. Lesnar put him in the Kimura one more time in the ring after slamming him back first into the ring post. Lesnar then seemingly maybe breaks Cody's arm again and then says, challenge accepted. I'll see you at SummerSlam, bitch. He drops the mic, crowd boos, and Brock leaves. So there we go. And then just to wrap everything up with a little bow, they go to break. Come back from break, and Corey Graves lets us know, hey, Brock wasn't done. During the break, he came back and hit Cody one more time with a chair for good measure. So I thought this was a really good opening segment. What did you think of the segment?
I thought it was pretty good. They When Cody was like, "That's my mom in the front row," I was like, oh, I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna have Brock Lesnar come out and beat up Cody right in front of his mom.
Yep.
Like I knew it. I knew they were gonna do that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's always predictable when like wrestler has like a parent or like spouse in the front row, like just supporting them. They always have like someone come out and beat that person up.
Well, speaking of spouse, where was Brandy? No Brandy out there. I thought that would have been entertaining if Brock was beating him up in front of Brandy and Brandy doing her thing, spouting her mouth off like she likes to do. But Brandy has said it. She's not going to be a character on television for WWE. And so maybe that's why she didn't want to be out there. I don't know. But his mom being out there yelling at Brock, all good. Maybe she didn't want to be out there because then she'd have to have Liberty, their baby, and she didn't want Liberty. Well, no, because Liberty was at ringside the whole Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania. I was going to say maybe she didn't want to have her daughter see her dad get beat up like that right in front of her. But I mean, like I said, she was at ringside for Mania, so I don't know. It's all good. Then, for the Intercontinental title, not on the line, the Intercontinental Champion took on Matt Riddle. This match, again, 8 minutes. Match at Money in the Bank was 8 minutes, and this match was almost the exact same. It was just Riddle got a little bit of offense, and then Gunther beat his ass. Riddle got a little bit of offense, Gunther beat his ass. Like, why do we need this match if it was almost the exact same match we got at Money in the Bank? It was not needed at all. But as far as the match... I
agree.
Yeah. As far as the match itself, go for it.
Money in the Bank match had a lot more potential than it really did, to be honest. In this one, like, really? Going into those two matches, like, you would think, like, oh, yeah, these two matches are going to be, like, fan-freaking-tastic, but no, it was just a match, to be honest with you.
So, the match tonight went 8 minutes and 12 seconds. The match at Money in the Bank, 7 minutes and 45 seconds. This match was a little bit longer. So Riddle leaped off the ring steps, and, well, Gunther just chopped him right out of midair and hit him with the body slam. Riddle did fight back after a break, and they exchanged strikes until Riddle hit an exploder suplex. Gunther responded with chops, and Riddle came back with kicks to the chest. Gunther chopped him again, hit a German suplex, and clotheslined him for a near fall. Riddle came back with some kicks and a sliding knee to the back of the head for a 2. Riddle went for the floating bro, but Gunther got his knees up. Gunther followed this up with a drop kick and a powerbomb for the pinfall victory. So there we go. Gunther gets the win. What did you think of the match before we talk about the post-match stuff?
Match was just okay. It was literally just a match that didn't really need to be needed. But
exactly.
I'd say the post-match was good.
Oh, yeah. So Gunther gets a mic and stands on the announce table. Crowd boos. He said, they can boo all they want. But this was the best night of their lives because they got to see the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Gunther said that Riddle was done, and he was building a legacy. Drew McIntyre can ride his coattails too if he really wants to, but will fall like everybody else has to the ring general. Basically, he did lay out that challenge to Drew McIntyre. Drew will be on the show next week. They did announce later on there will be a face-to-face segment between Drew and Gunther.
I always like when they have Gunther just stand on the announce table to look like this big boss. Like, I like that.
It's different, and it really works well.
As far as, like, versus Drew, I'm still having thoughts that, like, I don't know if it's really a good idea if they should have Drew, like, dethrone Gunther.
No.
I feel like if they're going to have someone dethrone Gunther, it needs to be, like, someone who, like, benefits from it, though. Like, Drew's already, like, a well-established name, though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it needs to be someone who would actually, like, really benefit from it, though.
True.
I would totally understand why they would Drew dethrone him, though. I would completely understand why.
Yeah, I just don't want it because I want Gunther to beat the Honky Tonk Man record, and that's after SummerSlam. So it's like, come on.
I mean, they could always wait until, like, throw him after SummerSlam. Like, Drew can lose at SummerSlam down the line. Be like, I still want it. Like, I still want the belt and stuff.
So as we move forward, Jackie Redmond interviewed Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan, the tag team champions. Morgan knew that Green and DeVille didn't follow the rules, but they'd be ready. Morgan said that they wouldn't back down from anybody. Rhea Ripley then appeared and got in Raquel's face. Rodriguez said that they wouldn't back down to her either. Morgan tried to chime in, so Ripley headbutted her. Rodriguez then attacked Ripley, and they started brawling as officials tried to separate them. The brawl ended when Ripley kicked Raquel's leg out from under her, supposedly possibly injuring her knee, and then Morgan and officials checked on Raquel. So, again, further building up what I think is going to be Rhea versus Raquel, yet, based off later on in the show, I mean, Liv came out and attacked, so maybe that could be Liv. You think it's going to be Liv or Raquel?
It's got to be Raquel. It has to be.
So, as we move forward, Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley would enter out on the stage. Patrick said, "The mood in Atlanta has taken a sinister turn with the appearance of this villainous quartet." The Judgment Day's in the ring. Ripley said Judgment Day were stronger than ever, and they don't just run Raw, they dominate it. Ripley called herself unbeatable as champion and said Finn Balor and Damian Priest would soon become world champions. Ripley said Dominic Mysterio would be the next NXT North American champion after tomorrow night. The crowd, excuse me, the crowd loudly booed as Dom said that he would beat Wes Lee tomorrow on NXT. Priest tried to talk for him, so the crowd booed over his promo too. Priest held up his briefcase and said that he would become a world champion. Balor gave him a look, but Priest told him, "Hey, take it easy, because you still got the first shot." So Balor told Priest, "I love you too, bro." Balor said his issues with Seth Rollins would never be over until he beat him for the title. Dom tried to put over Balor, but the crowd booed again. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens then interrupted. Zayn asked the Atlanta crowd if they paid their hard-earned money to hear Dom talk, and they booed that. He asked if they paid money to see someone shut Dom's mouth. They cheered. Zayn said that they would take on Dom and Priest tonight and shut Dom's mouth for good. Priest said that they've been focused on individual titles, but told Dom the tag titles would look great on them. Priest told them to put the titles on the line. Because remember, originally this match was supposed to be non-title. Zayn then considered it, and the crowd chanted yes. Owens then appeared, very annoyed, so Zayn let him speak. The crowd chanted for Owens. Owens was fired up and said that he wanted to stun Priest and put his fist down Dom's stupid face. So Owens accepted to put the titles on the line. Don't really get why, but cool. Okay, to put the titles on the line, but why? Because Priest asked for it? They did nothing to earn it. Well, I mean, kind of. They pinned him in the 6-man, so to each their own, whatever. What'd you think of the segment?
I mean, it was a cool segment, and I kind of feel like, they kind of had to defend the titles against Judgment Day because, like Damian Priest, he pinned Owens last week, so that obviously deserves them a shot at the tag titles.
True.
As far as, like, Dom versus Wesley, do you think Dom actually wins that match?
For some reason, I want Dom to win, but I don't think he will. Like, being a main roster wrestler, I don't think he wins the title. Not to say we haven't seen that happen before, like Dolph Ziggler winning the NXT championship. But I don't see Dom winning. Like, there's a slight chance he does, but I don't know. It's something in me is like, nah, probably not.
Like, I can totally see, like, why he would, because, like, they can go the route of, like, Wesley's been, like, so dominant, they had to have, like, a main roster guy beat him.
Well, also think about it. Judgment Day will be there with him. So there's going to be, like, 3-4 on 1.
I mean, they could also have, like, someone like a Tyler Bate and Mustafa Ali, like, help out Wesley to try and even out the odds. Because, like, Mustafa Ali's supposed to be facing Wesley at Great American Bash.
Yep. Ooh.
That match should be amazing.
That should be very fun. So we go to the back, and the trainer told Adam Pearce, "Hey, technically, Raquel's cleared, but we wanted to get some scans done, but we don't have time for that. Raquel said that last time this happened, they had to give up the belts, and they're not doing that this time. Pierce was concerned, but understood, and said it's the trainer's recommendation, and it's a title match. Title match is official, because technically she is cleared. They'll allow the match to go on. So then that match was next. Sonya Deville and Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan defending the women's tag team titles against Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. The match itself went about 5 minutes and 15 seconds. Deville applied a half crab on Rodriguez's injured knee and held the hold a long time before Morgan finally broke it up. Morgan tagged in and hit Green with a code breaker and an oblivion, but Deville just barely broke up the cover with a knee strike. Looked like she kneed Liv right in the side of the head pretty good, like for real. Deville then chop blocked Rodriguez outside the ring before giving Morgan a cheap shot with the referee's back turned. Green hit an unprettier and got a near fall off of it. Morgan tried fighting back both women on her own, as she was basically on her own at this point, and Green hit yet another unprettier, followed up with Deville's running knee strike, and then they pinned her to become the new women's tag team champions. So there we go. Deville and Green pose in the aisleway. Fireworks go off. And they show Morgan, who had just sat down with Raquel to check on her as they were checking on her leg. So, yeah, new tag team champions tonight on Raw. And, I mean, I like it. I think these two can do well with the tag titles. But I see everybody, they just killed the tag division. Might as well retire those titles now. Might as well say goodbye to the women's tag. Why? Because Sonya and Chelsea have the titles? Well, they're better than some tag champs we've had in the past, like the Inspiration, aka the Iconics, but I think they'll do fine with the tag titles. What did you think of the match, and what do you think of them now being the champions?
I mean, match was all right, but I kind of like Chelsea and Sonya being the tag champs. They can do a lot of like comedy stuff with the belts as well.
Right.
So
now just think about.
They kind of had.
Go for it.
They also kind of had to take the belts off of Raquel and Liv because one of them is going to be facing Rhea at SummerSlam. Right. So you might as well just take the belts off them so they can focus. One of them can focus on Rhea.
Now think about this though. At one point, this team was not supposed to be Sonya and Chelsea, but Carmella and Chelsea. Then Carmella got pregnant. So this could have been Carmella and Chelsea as tag team champions instead. But I actually like the dynamic of Chelsea and Sonya because of their characters. I think their characters work better than Chelsea and Carmella did because their characters are similar they're always complaining about something. They're always mad at management. And so it was kind of just very easy for those two to be brought together.
I mean, when like Chelsea first debuted and like kind of like got back to WWE and they did the whole like I need to speak to a manager stuff, I always thought it would be perfect if they paired her with Carmella, but I mean, they were supposed to. Like, they did tease them teaming together for a little bit.
They did, like, a couple matches, and, like, I remember once or twice Chelsea was in her corner. So.
And they did feel like backstage segments, and then, like, I think Carmella got hurt for a little bit, then she ended up getting pregnant as well.
Well, no, it was just the pregnant. They made it seem like she may have been hurt, but it was the pregnancy all along. So in the back,
I kind of like Chelsea and Sonya together.
Yeah, me too.
Probably better, I would say.
So in the back, Byron Saxton congratulated the new champions, but kind of threw shade at them, saying, it was really 2-on-1 though. Deville dismissed Rodriguez's fake injury, while Green tried thanking everybody, including her fans, her parents, her sister, and Janie from the tanning salon. But did you notice who she didn't thank? The one person she didn't thank?
Who?
Her husband, Matt Cardona. And even if she didn't want to say his name, she could have just said, and I want to thank my husband. What would have been really funny if she would have been like, and I want to thank my husband. Woo, woo, woo. How funny would that have been? How freaking hilarious would that have been if she could have got a woo, woo, woo in there? Because she's because she yelled something when Sonya finally pulled her away. And it would have been great if she was like, and I want to thank my husband. And as Sonya's pulling her away, you hear, woo, woo, woo. That would have been so funny. A beat missed that should have been there, in my opinion. Whatever.
I mean, she probably could have said, I don't think management or anything would like told her not to. I don't think they would have told her like don't say it or anything. She probably had the freedom to say it, but like maybe she just didn't think about saying it.
Maybe.
To be honest.
Because like I don't know, but there's probably a chance they wouldn't have wanted her to say my husband Matt Cardona, but it would have just been funny if she even just said my husband. But she never said my husband. No, just me, my creativeness thinking, hey, how could this have been a little funnier, this and that, blah, blah, blah. We got a Jey Uso video package recapping everything he did last week on SmackDown. And apparently that segment on SmackDown was the highest viewed segment of the entire show. It peaked at 2.5 million viewers. The Jey Uso, Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa segment. So, hey, when they call him main event Jey Uso, they do it for a reason, because he doesn't just wrestle in the main event. He's a ratings draw as well.
Basically, anything that involves Roman or the bloodline is a ratings draw.
Oh, yeah. So then we get a Seth Rollins sit-down interview. And this entire segment was so good. This was, oh my God, good. But especially Seth. When Seth really just started going in on Finn, oh, this got good. So Saxton conducted the interview to start and wanted to know Seth Rollins' plans for the world title after hearing from Balor. Rollins said that the World Heavyweight Championship deserves a marquee match at SummerSlam and mentioned Balor, Priest, McIntyre, Gunther, and even Owens as possible challengers. Balor then interrupted and told Byron, hit the bricks, I got this from here. Rollins told Saxton, it's okay, I got this. And Balor sat in Byron's chair. Balor said that the line started with him, and their issues weren't yet over. Balor told Rollins, go talk to Priest, make the match official, give me my shot. I want a rematch. Rollins told Balor, stop living in the past. This isn't all about you. Balor says he wasn't living in the past. He was living in the chaos, and he would do the same to Rollins, what Rollins has done to him. Balor says, I will not just take your title, I will laugh in your face and alter your career. Rollins told Balor, the world title was not about me, was not about you. It's bigger than you, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than this vendetta you have against me. It's bigger than both of us. Rollins said that they didn't need a match to settle whatever score this is, and they can fight and do things right here, right now. Rollins then told Balor, take your shot or get out of my face. Balor then said, cool, and walked away. Rollins then looks over at the producers. Is we done? Yeah, okay. Tries to take off his little lapel mic, and boom, gets attacked by Finn as Finn threw a chair at his face and then put the boots to him. Balor then said once again, make the match. I thought this was a great segment. I thought this was really good, and I liked it.
It was a very effective segment.
Yeah. Then we go forward to the Viking rules match. Is it coming up next? A match with no rules, Viking rules. And when you say Viking rules, let's be honest, there are no rules. I was like, okay. So Titus O'Neil joined.
I like these Viking rule matches.
They're fun.
I really do.
Go for it.
Like the last one they did with the New Day, like that was a pretty fun match, and this tonight was pretty fun as well.
I thought this was loads of fun. For some reason, Titus O'Neil was on commentary. And Corey Graves is like, you have a lot of history in Viking rules matches, right? And he's like, well, not really, Corey. I fought the Viking Raiders a few times, but those are just regular matches. I've never been in one of these. So yeah, Titus O'Neil was on commentary the whole time, and who knows why. But the match itself went 10.5 minutes. Valhalla and Maxine were also at ringside and did get involved. So the front section of the ring was turned into a Viking boat. And the two teams were going at it for a while until at one point, Otis yelled, get the tables at Gable, but he was stopped by Eric. Ivar tried a springboard crossbody, but Otis caught him and hit a power slam, which was awesome. They came back from a break, and Graves let us know that it was the 80th time. This was for the 80th time, basically. Like, I don't know if it was actual 80th, but he kept saying Viking rules. It's Viking rules with no rules. Viking rules with no rules. I'm like, okay, we get it. Ivar then hit Otis with a moonsault, but Gable broke up the cover with a moonsault of his own. Gable followed with a damn impressive German suplex on Ivar. Like, not just a German that Ivar helped get him up with. No, this was a slow, delayed German suplex, which means Chad Gable took the brunt of that with his freaking strength. Chad Gable's a machine. I'm going to say that right now. Chad Gable's a machine. Eric did break up a cover here, and the crowd was getting really into this. Eric and Gable exchanged strikes until Gable hit an exploder suplex and a diving headbutt, but Valhalla broke up the cover. Maxine took her out with a flying crossbody. Gable put the Letterman's jacket on Dupree and said, "Oh, thank you." But Valhalla speared her through the table in the corner. The Raiders then drove Gable into some of the shields. Otis then ran over both Raiders and slammed Ivar and gave Eric a follow-away slam. Otis then hit Ivar with a caterpillar, but Valhalla slapped him as he came to climb the ropes. The Raiders then brought down Otis with a double powerbomb off the middle ropes and pinned him to pick up the victory. The Viking Raiders win the Viking Rules match. This match was loads of fun. The crowd was very much into it. And yeah, I liked it.
So do you think that Alpha Academy is like officially done with the Viking Raiders?
Probably not.
Because you would think, like, after the Vikings Rules match, you'd think that they're done, but
I think the final thing of this might be Maxine versus Valhalla one-on-one. And also, kudos to Maxine for trying to do a drop kick. She tried to drop kick Valhalla through the ropes, and she like kind of got it, but didn't really get it. But hey, kudos for trying. So as we move forward, Shayna Baszler beat Nikki Cross in 20 seconds. Don't need to say anything else about that. Match is over, and all of a sudden we hear Ronda Rousey's voice go, and the crowd goes mild. Rousey then tells Shayna, "I'm here, up here. Look, I'm above you. I'm up above you like I've always been." And she's in like one of the press boxes. Rousey said that she could have taken the long way. Rousey says she could have taken the long way through the door in WWE, or just go through the back like she did. She goes, "I don't need to go to the indies and then developmental where they all tell me what I need to be doing and this and that before I make it here. No, I did it my way by earning a historic Olympic medal in judo and having an earth-shattering UFC career. She got thrown into the wolves by being put into a WWE ring with no training and developed to be a Hall of Famer in just a few short years. She did everything in a fraction of the time that it took Baszler here in wrestling and in MMA. Rousey called herself the greatest combat sports athlete of all time, and the crowd booed. Rousey said that Baszler was just a knockoff version of her. Baszler then said she was better than Ronda when it comes to being in this ring. And she was the real Ronda Rousey. Baszler then challenged her to come fight her right here, right now, and Ronda said, "Nah, I'm not going to do that," and put her legs up. She got comfy in her chair. Baszler then went into the crowd like she was going to go after Ronda. And as she got halfway up the steps, security stopped her. Rousey then said, "You know what? I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to finally get you booked for SummerSlam. So I'll face you at SummerSlam." She then goes to walk off and says, "I'll see you in the Motor City, bitch." And Ronda leaves as the segment ends. We got the word bitch twice on the show tonight. Huh. What did you think of the segment?
who's supposed to be the babyface in this? Is it Ronda or Shayna? Because like to the
Shayna.
fans, it's Shayna.
Yeah, to the fans.
I don't know if WWE is trying to make Ronda the babyface, but
So I think Shayna's, like you said, to the fans, Shayna's the baby. And I think that's the way it should be. Ronda's the arrogant prick heel. So Jackie Redmond interviews Ricochet. Ricochet said that Logan Paul thinks he's a joke, but he lives in his own world of social media. In the world of WWE, Logan Paul was a joke. Ricochet said that Paul wanted a fight. But when they got into it last week, Paul was the one who was laid out. Ricochet challenged him to show up next week to come face-to-face in Tampa, Florida. And come hit him where it hurts, in his ego. So yeah, he says he's going to basically take Logan Paul down a step. And Logan Paul was confirmed for being there next week. So Logan Paul will be on the show next Monday.
I like how on Twitter Logan Paul basically responded saying challenge accepted.
Right. Then we got Miz TV. Miz gloated about his big win last week over Tommaso Ciampa and proclaimed that he was back. He spoke about competing in a celebrity golf tournament alongside the likes of Charles Barkley, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Miles Teller, and the most overpaid person in sports, Pat McAfee. He then said the only person more overpaid was Trae Young, which was a dig for the Atlanta Hawks. Miz then introduced...
I think Trae Young was an overpay.
Miz then introduced his guest, Becky Lynch, and asked her to take a seat right next to him. Miz noted that her recent losses to Trish Stratus and Zoe Stark and at Money in the Bank were not good for her, and maybe she has lost a step. Becky then just loses her goddamn mind. Becky starts throwing all the chairs out of the ring and then gets in the Miz's face and says, I know how this goes. Yes, I've lost titles, I've lost friends, I've lost a lot of things over the last year, but one thing I have not lost is my step. Lynch knew how his stupid show works. He says, you're going to have a special guest. You're going to have a surprise guest. Bring her out. Where's Trish? Do it before I hit you in your tiny balls. Out would then come Trish and Zoe, and this just took a nosedive. Crowd didn't care, and it was bad. So Stratus and Stark entered, but Lynch spoke over her music and repeatedly demanded for a rematch. Stratus called Lynch a child and wondered if it was Rue who was in the ring instead, and Lynch said, don't bring my daughter's name up. Don't put her name in your mouth. Stratus then said that she had already beaten her and declined for a rematch. Stratus noted that Lynch lost to her and lost Money in the Bank and then lost to Zoe. So, well, we're done with you. But there is something I want from you right here on this big must-see platform. It's for you to finally say, thank you, Trish. Lynch said that Stratus wanted to return to WWE, so Lynch brought her back. Lynch told her that the issue she was having, and this just froze on me. Lynch told her that the issues she was having was about Stratus attacking her when she was at her lowest point. But now she's ready to go at her strongest. Lynch challenged her with a rematch without Starks by her side. Lynch then mocked her and wondered if she was all about her hair flips on Instagram or all the other things that she does outside of the ring. Stratus finally randomly just goes, you know what? Yeah, I accept. And I'm like, what did Becky even do to get you to accept? Just said that you do things not in the... I don't know. Stratus accepted. And then she goes, but I have a couple terms. First off, you need to beat Zoe. Becky said, done. Second, when Zoe beats you, you need to get on your knees and say, thank you, Trish. Becky said, done. She then said, third and final thing, when Zoe beats you and you say thank you, Trish, you then get thank you, Trish tattooed across your chest. Becky paused for a second and then said, done. The two then abruptly attacked Becky 2-on-1 before Lynch fought him off and ripped Stratus's face mask off. Lynch then put it on herself and basically headbutted Zoe in the face with it. Cool. It's going to be most likely at SummerSlam, Trish and Becky. What'd you think of the segment?
Yeah, this segment sucks so much. And it's pretty obvious Becky's winning. Like when they said that, like Trish was like, I want thank you, Trish, tattooed on your chest and stuff. Like,
yeah, she's getting the match. She's going to beat Zoe. It's obvious. Obvious. As we move forward, we had, as they called him, Big Bronson Reed taking on Shinsuke Nakamura in a 7.5-minute match. So Reed took control early, but Nakamura did fight back. After a break, Reed responded with a Death Valley driver and got a 2 off of it. The crowd chanted for Nakamura, who hit some strikes and a knee strike off the ropes for a 2. Nakamura then set it for a Kinshasa, but Reed flattened him with a crossbody. Ciampa then suddenly hit the ring, attacked Reed, and caused the DQ, which actually gave Reed the victory. Ciampa was like, oh, crap. He tried to apologize to Nakamura, and Nakamura kicked him in the chin. The crowd actually cheered for it because, well, they understand why Shinsuke was upset. What did you think of the match and whatnot before we get to the aftermath?
The match was pretty decent. I I will say it was kind of a little bit of a shame that like match ended on disqualification for like how decent it was.
Yeah. So afterwards, Byron Saxton asked Nakamura, "What's wrong? What's going on?" He said, "I'm tired of everybody getting involved in my business." Saxton says, "So what was you attacking Ciampa?" And Nakamura rolls his eyes and was like, "Byron, I said I'm tired of everybody getting involved in my business." And then he walked off. Like, Byron, he told you already, you dumb buffoon. So is this maybe a Nakamura heel turn?
Probably, but
Gonna give one of those.
I don't know if I really like.
So
I don't know if I really like Nakamura as a heel.
True.
But I mean, I don't know if it was just maybe like when he's as the heel, maybe it's just the way that Vince used him as a heel that I didn't like, but maybe like Triple H could use him better as a heel. Like, I don't know. We'll see how this goes.
Right. So a couple of things got announced for next week. Becky Lynch will be taking on Zoe Stark. Gunther will have a face-to-face with Drew McIntyre, and Logan Paul will appear on the show. There was a wide shot of the show, and Kevin Patrick told us that this was a sellout for Monday Night Raw here in Atlanta with 13,500 people, according to him. So then we go on to our main event, but before we get to our main event, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor. This podcast is brought to you by Pro Wrestling Loot. For the fan in all of us, Pro Wrestling Loot is a curated box of pro wrestling merchandise sent to you every single month at one low cost. Each month, you're going to get a t-shirt, autographs, posters, art, and collectibles. This past month, they sent us the CMLL Welterweight Championship. For our listeners right here, use code PW Unlimited at checkout and you will get 20% off your next purchase. Again, head over to ProWrestlingLoot.com and use code PWU NLIMITED at checkout to get 20% off your next order. So, we got our main event. Tag titles on the line. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Damian Priest and Dominic Mysterio of the Judgment Day. So Owens and Zayn had their way early on with Dominic until Zayn got distracted by Ripley. Dom hit Zayn with a baseball slide and Priest chokeslammed him onto the apron. The crowd cheered on Zayn after a break, and he eventually made a very hot tag to Owens, who knocked Dom and Priest out of the ring. Owens clotheslined both men outside of the ring and gave Priest a senton. Owens also hit Dom with the frog splash off the apron. Owens hit Priest with a cannonball, but Priest got his knees up on a senton bomb attempt. Dom then followed this up with a frog splash, but Zayn broke up the cover. Zayn then dumped Priest from the ring before Dom dumped Zayn. The crowd then chanted, "Dom, you suck," moments before Zayn hit him with a pop-up powerbomb, but Priest did break up the pin. Zayn tagged in and hit Priest with a tornado DDT for a near fall. Zayn then went to the top rope as the crowd chanted, "Ole, ole, ole, ole," but Priest cut him off and hit a Frankensteiner for a 2. Dom made a blind tag and drop-kicked Zayn in the middle of the ring. Also, forgot to note, as this match was starting, they did announce officially Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam. So Zayn avoided a 619 and chucked Dom from the ring. Owens wiped out Priest with a dive off the apron, and Zayn wiped out Dom with a flip dive. Ripley then drove Owens into the steel steps, and Zayn pointed it out to the referee. Priest then attacked Zayn with the ref's back turned, and Dom put him in a schoolboy for a near fall. Ripley then yelled at the referee when all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Liv Morgan would run down and attack her in the timekeeper's area. Owens then dropped Priest with a stunner, and Zayn hit Dom with a haluva kick to pin him to pick up the victory. So, I thought this was a really good main event. I thought this match was solid. This match was fun. And I don't know what this is building for Sami and Kevin towards SummerSlam, but it just further built Rhea against Raquel, I guess. What'd you think?
As far as like Sami and Kevin, I mean, they got a lot of people like built in to like try and go after those tag titles. You got Judgment Day, who could still go after those belts. You still got Imperium, who they kept teasing that they're going to go after the belts, but they never did. So, I don't know, we'll see, but I'm really looking forward to seeing Finn versus Seth again. I thought their match at Money in the Bank was fun.
So you think we get the Demon this time?
tough one. I don't know. I really don't know. Because, like, if Finn's going to lose,
but
probably not.
He has lost as the Demon, like, to the Fiend.
I mean, Edge and Roman?
Well, no, didn't he lose to Bray Wyatt as the Demon? Or was he not the Demon that night?
He was not the Demon that night, no.
For some reason, I always thought he was the Demon that night. I don't know. But he has lost as the Demon. So it's not like in NXT where it was like, if he's the Demon, he ain't losing. Main roster, the Demon has lost.
Yeah, but I don't want him losing too much as the Demon.
That is very true. That is true.
Because if he's losing too much as the Demon, then it wouldn't make any sense for him to be the Demon anymore.
I just feel like too much. I just feel like they need something slightly different, and that's the only different they can do unless they like add some big stip. Which, are they going to add a stip to Brock and Cody? Because they just announced that as a singles match.
Cody did challenge him to like a rubber match, I believe.
Yeah, but like we need a stip. Is it just one-on-one regular match? Because that would kind of be lame.
Kind of let down though. Hopefully, or it could be like a strap match. That'd be fun.
Yeah, a strap match or a bull rope match. Well, not a bull rope match because a bull rope you got to touch the things. Give me a strap match. That'd be fun. We've seen Cody in a good strap match before. But with that, that's all we got pertaining to tonight's Monday Night Raw. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of tonight's Monday Night Raw. As far as the polls do go, let's refresh all of those really quickly. We do have the Twitch poll, 100% liked the show. Looking over at the the Twitter poll, 62% liked the show, 29% thought it was just all right, and 8% did not like it. Looking over at the YouTube community poll, 73% liked the show, 20% thought it was just all right, and 8% didn't like it. This person says, Sami and Owens won. I believe LA Knight has to lose. What the hell does that have to do with anything? This person here says, I watched a little bit and then caught up on clips. Cool. As far as the YouTube live poll does go, 78% liked the show, 12% thought it was just all right, and 10% did not like it. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your week. Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter at Petke_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at TheLukePetke.
So with that, guys, we'll be back on Wednesday talking AEW Dynamite. So have a good night, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys.